Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to guide you through customizing the settings on your Sofabaton remote, including reassigning keys and editing macros. Before we begin, make sure your app is connected to either the U1 or U2 remote, and that your devices have been added. If not, you'll need to set this up before continuing. For guidance on this process, please refer to our Add Devices video. After adding your devices, you can reassign the remote keys or configure macro keys using the app, depending on your needs. Sometimes the default function assigned to a remote button may not align with your expectations. You can modify the default settings. Follow these steps. Choose the device you want to edit, click on Remote Keys, and you will enter the Customize page where you can see whether the buttons already have assigned functions or not. In this page, colored button outlines represent assigned functions, while black outlines indicate buttons that are free and have not been assigned functions. Click on the button you want to reassign functions to and choose Reassign Remote Keys from the pop-up menu. The page will then display the device's command list, where you can check the currently assigned default functions or select new commands from the current device or other devices as needed. To directly control different devices without switching, you can refer to the following settings. Step 1. Set up TV power. The TV power button is a global button that is initially unassigned. Customize it so that regardless of which device is active, it sends the same command. We recommend setting it to control the TV or monitor power. This allows you to turn off the TV directly without manually switching to the TV device. Step 2. Set volume control buttons. For input devices like your gaming console, DVD player, or streaming device, referred to as source devices or input devices, assign the volume control buttons, volume plus, volume minus, and mute to control the TV's sound. Step 3. Modify default assigned commands. In some devices, the default assigned commands may not align with your personal usage habits or preferences. Reassign them as needed. If a button on your Sofabaton remote is not working, open the app to ensure the button has been assigned a function. Use Reassign Remote Key to replace it with the desired function if the default assigned function is not what you expected. For example, in the code library, there may be similar commands like exit and back. The system may default to back, but if you require exit, you can replace the default command. It is best to press trigger beside this exit button first to identify if this is the right key you want. Configure or edit macro keys. A macro is a feature that allows you to program a sequence of operations or commands into a single shortcut button. This means you can execute multiple actions with just one press of a button. So let's show you how to set up a macro. It is best to create a macro under the input source video, like TV or AV receiver. Click on the button you want to set up a new macro for. Then choose Edit Macro for this key from the pop-up menu to access the macro command editing page. You can add corresponding operations from the existing button, which contains assigned or learned commands, or from the commands database, which provides a comprehensive list of commands from the code library, including some unassigned commands. Choose as needed. For the U1 remote, macros can only be created using operations from the existing buttons. To set up a macro for quickly tuning to channel 102, you would sequentially add the operations for 1, 0, and 2 on the macro editing page. After adding these steps, save the macro to complete the setup. After the macro is set, you will notice the key turns orange, and you can find it in the Remote Keys page. If your device isn't functioning as expected after setting up macros, please refer to our Macro Not Working Us article for troubleshooting. After the macro is created, please move the scroll wheel to the device you have just created a macro for, and then press the macro button. And that's it. You've now learned how to customize your Sofabaton remote by reassigning keys and setting up macros.